Hello, YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about our Terror Clone Zane build. I hope you enjoyed the montage. You can see a sneak peek on kind of what we're doing here. Basically, when I updated this, I wanted to both use Terror, and I wanted to take advantage of the Infernal Wish. And the Infernal Wish does have a couple things I want to point out. It is broken with a couple of things. So if you have Adrenaline, Capacity, Delay, Recharge, Reflect, Trigger Happy, Turtle, those parts all break the shield. So basically what happens is after the first shot, it does work, but any shot following doesn't work. Now the way you can fix this if you do have an Infernal Wish with one of those parts is by using the ASS Anoint or the Action Skill Start Anoint, which is the Action Skill Start, trigger any effects that happen when the shield breaks or fills. So that's the way you can fix that if you do have one of those parts. But if you just avoid one of those parts, or all of those parts, then it will work as intended. So what I did is I really like to run it with amp, and on shield break add amp, so you get even more amp on top of that. And of course I'm running it with a toboggan, so we're sliding and getting more amp and just continuously adding extra damage to it. So basically this is a clone terror build. We're going to be using Sandhawks for clone. We've got a couple different versions so that we can element match. And then we're running the Plague Bearer and the Hive on Zane. Basically we're running these two because with the Infernal Wish, getting that extra projectile right off of the rockets, you get two of them, and then you've got all of those mini projectiles that are coming from both of those fires. So you just get a whole bunch of extra damage for just having the Infernal Wish on with those rocket launchers. Now if you're not big on the Infernal Wish and the rocket launchers, you can still run it as just a clone build. Just use something like the Light Show or any gun that can use the action skill and splash damage, as clone will benefit from that particular anoint, meaning you can run it as a pure clone build and just do extra damage. What I would do in that case is replace the Infernal Wish with a Revolter, preferably triple absorb, so you can retain more ammo with Zane. We are running a Spy on this because we are doing damage with Zane. Like I was saying, if you want to run it as mainly clone, we do have a Seeing Dead here, which will have the same passives, but we're going to be using that 5 out of 5 for Donnybrook, so the clone does more damage. So for us, we've got extra damage coming from our commitment, 5 out of 5, and we've got 5 on this class mod, so we're getting 10 out of 5. That's going to end up adding to 60% extra damage just for having this class mod. As usual, I love running the Hex, so I've just run the Hex on here. The grenade with Zane isn't quite as important damage-wise. We're mainly really just using that for the proccing Terror Anoint, which is Action Skill End, apply Terror every 3 seconds for 18 seconds. So when we use Mantis Cannon, how often we can use it, we're just continuously having Max Terror over and over again, which is really fun and really great on Zane. So let's get into the skills a little bit. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. Future Swin here. So as I was editing the video, I realized that I didn't mention the Cutpurse Launchpad. Now with how much ammo the rocket launchers eat through, I really do advise you using a Cutpurse Launchpad. That way when you get low, you can just swap over to the Cutpurse real quick, do a ground slam, get your ammo back, swap back over to your toboggan, and keep on trucking. Sorry for the quick interruption. Now, back to the video, guys. We, of course, are maxing out Red Tree, since we are using Clone. We've got 1 in Synchronicity, which is just going to give us a little bit extra gun damage, since we are using guns with Zane. We've got 1 in 2 Premuntus, which is just going to give us a little bit more magazine size for ourselves and our clone. We've got 5 out of 5 in Borrowed Time. It's just going to increase our clone duration. 5 out of 5 in Donnybrook, which is there for clone having a lot more damage. It's 23% more damage when this is out. 1 in Fractal Frags. That's going to allow Zane to throw the Digiclone to throw the grenade mod we have equipped. We've got 5 out of 5 in Duct Tape, which is giving us a chance to throw a grenade as we're shooting. 1 in Quick Breather, basically just to switch with Clone so that we can heal our clone if he starts getting low on health. We've got 1 in Old U, which kind of like Flak and Lick the Wounds is just a really great survivability point. So 1 point, and if we're struggling getting out of fight for your life, which Zane does have some issues with, you've got a last-ditch effort of sacrifice your clone, you're back up. We've got 3 out of 5 in Supersonic, which is going to give us some more movement speed, which increases our damage thanks to Blue skill. We'll go over in just a second. We've got 1 out of 3 in Like a Ghost, mainly to get down the tree, but also just a little bit extra avoidance when it comes to damage. So we've got a 5% chance to ignore something that's shooting us. We've got 1 in Boom Enhance, which is basically just going to increase our damage for our clone whenever we summon it. And we've got Double Barrel, of course, so that we can make sure that clone has a Sandhawk. We didn't go anything in Green Tree, doesn't really help the build at all. We are using Cannon, so we do take 5 points in Deja Vu, so that when we get a critical hit, we have a chance of getting 1 back to our magazine. We've got 4 out of 5 in Headsman Hand. This is basically anytime we've got the kill skill up, we're getting increased critical hit damage. And like we were saying earlier, we've got 5 out of 5 in Commitment to give us that increased gun damage. Blue Tree, we've got 5 out of 5 in Violent Speed, which is just going to give us more movement speed. Specifically for 5 out of 5 in Violent Momentum, which the quicker we're moving, the higher our gun damage is. So with all of the movement speed we're stacking up, we're getting more gun damage just because we're moving fast. We've got 3 out of 5 on Cool Hands, mainly just because rocket launchers are very slow reloads, so it's just nice to have a little bit extra reload speed since the rocket launchers are so slow at reloading. 2 out of 5 in Salvation, so we've got some life still for us. And of course, you've got to take a point in Seeing Red. It's just such a great skill. And once you combine the Seeing Red with like the Seeing Dead or the Spy, you're just continuously having your kill skills up, and it's just an amazing bonus to have. We've got 5 out of 5 in Playing Dirty, so that we have an extra projectile on top of the projectiles we're already getting. We've got 5 out of 5 in Violent Violence, which is basically just going to increase the fire rate if you are running something other than the rocket launcher. So if you've got like that light show on there, if you really like the light show, if you like running a free radical, anything like that, you've just got a little bit extra fire rate. We've got 3 out of 3 in Good Misfortune, which is basically just going to keep our clone up longer. And our last point went into Death Follows Close, which gives us a bonus on all of our kill skills and makes them last a little longer. As always with all of my builds, I do have all of the Guardian ranks unlocked here. So if you don't have them all, you are going to see a little bit less damage because of things like Hollow Point and Groundbreaker, which do have some instances where they do some very crazy damage. And if you are on PC and you want to take your hands on this build, there will be a link to my Discord down below where this build will be in for the save files. You can download that and play with it as you would like. Give me any feedback on this. Let me know what kind of build you want to see next. Don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that bell. With that, guys, I've been your local sassy SwinLaw. Stay classy, Bandora.